This is one of those conversations that has been coming for a long time. Waithaka, I've always told you need to tell the story of how you became CEO of Centonomy. And I don't think people know how powerful of a story it is. And then Centonomy ended up being the one of the few businesses, especially businesses the size of companies like Centonomy, that managed to actually do succession and do succession well. And so many people have asked me over time. But today I want to tell it all, not just for anybody who may learn something from this, but even I have never appreciated the depth of this story until I started actually thinking about it. Because sometimes you just wonder, how did God put this together? So I know you from childhood.
Yes,
almost.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. But I must say, okay, because we knew each other, I think we became friends later on in life, but it's family friends, come from the same neighborhood. I used to come and hang out at your house, but now not with you, with your brothers. When we were kids, come and play video games together, play basketball and stuff. But so you were always there, somewhere in the background. And so, it's been a while.
You sang at my wedding.
Yes, you were reminding me of that. That was many years ago. And it was, I mean, like, when you think about how far that has been, that's truly God's grace.
Truly it is. And when Centonomy started, I started doing one-on-one. Then we started doing events. And I remember our first events were actually Sensible Woman. They were about women and money.
That's right. Yes.
And you came to start.
For the very first one.
At
Jacaranda.
Yes.
So it was your brother Dan who... So maybe to give context, what was happening in my life at that time. It was also another season of transition for me, because I had been working for a while, and my first job, I had grown in that job, grown in my career, got to a point where I was just like, this was 3 years into work, and I'm like, okay, I've kind of pretty much done everything that I want to do. That time I was at Family Media and started off, unpaid intern. This is straight out of university. Then you grow, I started doing other work, presenting, writing. Then I got into admin as well there. And then by the time I was leaving, now I was head of the radio department. So I was now doing a lot more admin, leadership work, planning, strategy. And then I was like, okay, I think it's time. Let me try. And this is the thing. My mom has always been, Waithaka, always think about something for yourself. She's very entrepreneurial. And she was like, always at some point think, what are you doing? And add to that. So that's when I thought, okay, let's try business at that time. And so the first business was a production company. And that's now how your brother Dan said, hey, Waceke is doing something new. Waithaka, you're doing something. Why don't you guys try and work together? That's how I ended up there. And I think I've told this story a few times, but I think it might be useful to hear. It was at that event, you were speaking to women about money. And I was one of 3 men in the room. And all of us were service providers. And we are sitting at the back, like, doing the production work and everything. And we're just like, you spoke and you're saying, men are meeting in clubs. They're meeting in places together, and they're discussing business and they're growing. And what are women doing? So the 3 of us guys at the back there were just like, which clubs are these that we're not being invited to where business is being discussed? Because everything you were saying, Waceke, affected my life. And I was just like, no, it's not just women, it's me. So that first day was already an impact in my life, and I started thinking about money differently.
Oh, wow. At that time, for me, what was going on, I had gotten the aha moment of Centonomy. At least the aha moment, let me teach people about money, because I came from doing stockbroking. So I was doing one-on-one, but for whatever reason, I started feeling, why don't I put women in a room together? And what had happened is at that time, it was Standard Chartered Diva had started giving us workshops, But by the time you came in, Standard Chartered Diva had also gone a different direction. We decided to do them on our own and our own brand, And I had learned that people had associated the women and money to Standard Chartered, and they used to call us for that. And like, actually, I have to build my own brand.
Yeah.
And the interactions were so engaging. I was like, I've got to get this recorded. I've actually got to get this recorded. But when I look back, I don't want to say we were guessing. We were just like, I hope people understand. You know, when you're starting a business or a concept, especially something that is not being done, which is what Centonomy was, nobody was actually doing it. You're like, I hope at the end of the day. So you go for we used to come for every workshop. So afraid. I hope somebody actually gets it. Somebody. And then after that, it became not even the events. We would be doing trainings for companies.
That's right.
Because I think I was like, I need a way to train other people how to do it. So the best way is you record me.
That's right.
Then when new people are coming to train, they can. And that time, it was mostly me. But for some reason, I knew I need to teach other people to train. Then the day for other people need to come and train came.
You've jumped.
Have I jumped?
You've jumped because, yes, you started doing your own training. And then when you began now Centonomy 101 and you had now started using material to train other people. So you started 101. So there are already people now that you're working with, Kina Isaac, your sister. Who else was there? A few other people like Kina. What was his name? Sifuna. What was Erastus, yes.
Yeah.
And others. So the 101 program had started. Then you called me and you said, now I want a recording of all.
You came to record all the classes.
So I attended Centonomy 101.
But behind the camera again.
So I keep telling people, so I sat in that class, then you go home, you edit the material. So I essentially attended the whole program like 3 or 4 times within a short period of time. And then you were still looking now. Now that's where you are. Now you are looking for more trainers at that point.
And before, so I was looking for more trainers. But before the more trainers, so all these guys were training. But first they were doing most of them were doing the other classes, the investments. I was still doing a lot of the personal financial management classes by myself. But you still, even before became a trainer, if I'm not getting my facts wrong, attended Centonomy 101. First you came as an attendee.
That's right. So 2012, I get married. No, 2011. Hey, now. Changing the dates. No, it's 2012. 2012. I got married, yes. And reality hit. There are also transitions happening for us. So this is kind of one of, now when I'm doing the classes now on money and relationship, for example, these are things that just come to mind. Because we just got married. We're starting to think through what's going on in life. My wife is going through a transition as far as her career is concerned. I'm trying to build this business. And when I got home, I was like, what? Now my finances don't just affect me. I can't just up and leave or do whatever I want anytime. There's a weight of responsibility. And so I came and did 101.
You came and did 101. And it was in the early intakes of 101, I remember, because I was still teaching a lot of 101. And I think we were seeing a lot of people, that same circumstance. This is an aha moment. I think I was on radio, Capital FM, so much that time we're telling people, if you don't have a salary, what is actually going to happen to you? And then you're like, okay, Waithaka has been behind the scenes, but he's here. But I remember you telling me you got married. So what happened in the business? And then so many people go through this, even the classes I was teaching, I had to now realize, because we now started expanding. We're doing Tuesday classes, Wednesday classes, Thursday classes, Saturday classes. There's no way, even if I'm teaching the one on personal finance, I can do all of them. It was just exhausting. And I think many people in business, they don't allow themselves to say, actually, this is a bit exhausting. And I had gotten some of the others, but now I knew I needed to get somebody who can, there can be a couple of us doing these classes. So what did we do? we put out an ad in, I think it was around into our alumni. Alumni is where we looked, and you were under alumni.
I was now,
at that time. Yeah. So this is me. I had boxed you in. You have a production company. Yeah. You're behind the scenes, and whatever direction it takes, you're probably going to film production, which you're already doing something at that time as. So as we're interviewing people, and I remember this so vividly. I walk out and I'm like, Waithaka? Waithaka? It's like, yeah. Then we had a conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
And you see, all the other trainers, they had some sort of context. Maybe they've worked in Arestas, had worked in the investment industry. Isaac was in Strathmore. So they had a training or something.
Yes.
Then we sat and had a chat, and I remember you telling me how it has impacted you, how it has, first of all, even from behind the camera, how it's forcing you to evaluate your life. And yes, you then did tell me, and I've gotten married. And as a provider of this home, I have to have certain things that
that's right.
That I have to get my act together. So I have to diversify and look for other sources of income.
It was practicing what we learned in Centonomy, which is, what can you do? Like, what do you have in your hands?
What do you have in your hands?
And I was like, look, I'm doing work elsewhere. What if I have time in the evenings? I can communicate. Why not? Try. So I did.
And for me, who was recruiting, that was one of the first lessons I learned from recruiting. I was doing the recruitment, but I also learned in the process of recruiting. You don't get people in just because they have the qualifications. You look at, actually, when I look at you separate qualifications from skill. When I looked at you, you had already, I knew you from, but since I knew you back then, I was like, by the way, Waithaka is kind of an entertainer.
That's true. Yes.
He's kind of an entertainer. He has the personality. Why not? Let's give this a try. And you ended up being one of our best trainers.
Thank God for that.
One of our best trainers. And I think this is, sometimes in a business you sit and think, oh my goodness, some people, I can do other things because people can be as good or sometimes even better than I thought I could be. And I think we need as businesses to stop being scared of that people can be as good or even better than you, because a business, that's what you're actually supposed to do in a business. You move on to something else. And so you just trained for a while.
I did. And I think it's that statement, what you've made there was one of the, I know it will come up to it later, but as I was leading my business at that time, I didn't know that. And so pretty much everything was revolving around me. So I'm the one who's going to get the work. I'm the one who's finding the clients. I'm the one who's doing final approvals. I was doing everything in my business, and I had never learned that, you know what, let go. I mean, like, look for good people and then let go. And then find the next thing, like the role in leadership. So that's kind of what I was going through at that time. So still a lot of hands-on in my business. And it led to, I guess, where we're heading
It led to where we're heading, Then, so you are there. You are a trainer. But I think, Waithaka, for you, you are not just a trainer. You seemed to just gel with the culture of Centonomy. You seemed to gel with it was very clear. You became very quickly passionate about the impact you were having on people. So one fine day, we had grown to the point where we actually needed we had an in-house lead trainer who was also running the training department. Basically my first job, then I gave it to somebody else. And he left. And I sat it because it was such a critical role, because in Centonomy, that role, make sure the classes are done, make sure there's a trainer, trainers are trained, and you have to do a lot of training. I was like, who? Then, Waithaka, the first time. So I go, I meet you, I call you, and we meet at Java Adams Arcade.
That's because my life was also going through another transition. First baby.
The first baby, yes.
First baby. And then again, things change. And I think it's... when I told you, when we're discussing money and you talk about relationships, it's so, everything is so intermingled, you can't separate. And so, first child, my wife Sheila comes and she's like, Waithaka, I can't go back to work. And that was her. I can't do it.
Yeah.
She could not at that time imagine leaving her child with someone else.
Yes.
And so where we were coming now from a 2-income household to a 1-income household. And so just before what you're doing, again, I think this is just God orchestrating things, because so I said, okay, business was not working the way I thought it was, and because of all the issues I was discussing, that was everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't have quite a vision for what was going to happen in future. So I said, you know what? It's the time, again, take responsibility. Let's get a job. At least we stabilize the home and everything. So I'd sent you and I'd said, please, can I use you as one of my references? Yes.
I'd even forgotten.
That's right. So you had agreed. So you are one of my references on the thing.
Yeah.
And so when you called me and said, well, are you still looking for work?
Yeah.
They said, yeah. Then can we meet for coffee?
Yeah.
That's now how. Yes, from my end. That's where we met now at the Java.
Yeah, we met at Java. I told you about the opportunity. And I remember you keep telling me this. I didn't realize it was an interview because we didn't come with a script of, please tell me how you're a team player. You know, it was not scripted. It was a conversation. It was at Adam's Arcade. And by the time I left, did I say you have the job? Or did I give you I can't remember whether I gave you a confirmation then, but in my head, at least
pretty
in my head, I'd really pretty much told you.
Yeah. But it was the weirdest, if it was a job interview, it was the weirdest one I've ever been for, because the whole time you were just pitching Centonomy. That's it. I was like, you were telling me this is what we're doing, this is how we're growing, this is where we're going to be, this is what I foresee. We're looking at even getting entrepreneurship, we're doing other things like that. So I was like, the whole time it's like you were pitching me your company. And I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. It was, let's go think about it a little bit at the end. But pretty much I think both of us had agreed at that time.
Yeah. That's interesting, because sometimes I think even as a business owner, sometimes it is you to pitch your company.
Yeah.
We always think it's somebody coming in to look for a job, but it was, and I just knew you are somebody I could grow with, because I think maybe I hadn't verbalized it, but I was looking, who, if they take up the role, do I not have to worry about that role as we do other things? And we were evolving. We already started thinking about creating products for campus. We were already in it. Teenagers, the entrepreneurship program was already in the forefront of my mind then. So I was like, actually, I can't do this and still be wondering, did the trainer show up? But for me, it was such, at that point, it was such an obvious, and maybe God was like, Shaka has no time to be interviewing 5 people, her personality, she'll just do that. So you came in and you just became head of training. And for me, it was like the engine that held Centonomy together. So we are out doing visibility. We are out doing marketing. But if the classes are not running, and when we teach businesses structure, for me in my business, that was the first structure, because I had to learn structure, because structure is sometimes, I think, what your customer expects at a certain point. You come on Tuesday, 6 p.m. A class needs to be there. A trainer needs to be there, because the customers come. What you guys went through in the background to make this happen, nobody cares. So it was the engine. Doesn't matter how many times I've been on radio. It doesn't matter how many people we've talked to. But if the classes are not running, and by doing that, once you understood the engine of Centonomy, of how Centonomy runs, you understood Centonomy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so another motivation for me was, this is 5 years later from the Cameraman. No. Yes. When I came to now produce content for you, 5 years later, your business is still running. Not only is it running, but as far as I could see, it is growing. So a motivation was for me was I need to learn how business works. So she's doing it. Mine is not working the way I thought it was going to. What is it that I'm not doing? And so it was a no-brainer. I mean, it was just like, go learn.
Yeah.
And it was an opportunity to learn.
Learn inside the business. Yeah. And
that, I think, that's something I've heard many entrepreneurs say.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's obviously the journey of you just start a business and you'll figure out as you go. But I think there's real power in learning from someone else. Like I've heard many say, get your first job, work in an organization, work under another entrepreneur so you have a picture of how business works. So that was, something.
And especially those who can work under the business owners. That's and right. I think though that is where you get, because much bigger companies have layers and layers and layers of structure and they've been there for decades, but where you're just seeing the real stuff that goes on, the ups and downs, including the ups and downs of even this person is a human being.
Correct.
Of this, Then for me, what happened? So I have been running the business 10 years, as CEO.
Yeah.
And at some point, and I was going through this program, Stanford Seed, that was taking us through where are we going, transformation plan for your business, what's in it for you. So I'd already started seeing, the very many things Centonomy needs to be doing, and we're already being questioned, but how does it do that?
Yeah.
And we learned about, what you call, is it heroic leadership or post-heroic leadership?
Yeah.
Heroic leadership where you're the be-all and end-all of anything, but post-heroic where you've surpassed that. And even in the classes I went for, I was one of the people who are better off. Yeah. And I think because especially you and I'd say Joanne had taken up the roles of the classes run and more or less the marketing runs and the customer experience runs. Yeah. So I was there as CEO, but kind of had built enough structure and I think you guys, by that time, I was already going on, I go up for a week. By the time you guys were there, there were days you would not see me. So I'd already started exiting, but I didn't know I was exiting. Then in this course, one of the coaches I had one day asked me, Waceke, are you bored in your business? Do you know those moments in life where the truth has been stated in such a way, the truth has been truthed, There was no, I'm not bored, etc. The answer just came out as yes, and immediately it came out, tears came out. Because this is what I was feeling. One, relief that I have been called out by somebody. Before I was trying to fluff around, can't find time to do this. And I kept saying the same thing over and over again. But someone to say, are you bored? And I'm like, I have to admit, I am bored. Doesn't mean I hate the business, but it's my soul, the way it was there, has kind of, for the current organization, kind of exited the building for a while. And why? This, I learned is, when is my soul there? When I'm creating. But where were we? And our business needs to be there. We had to manage and grow what we had. We had to keep improving the processes and the structures. Expand with what we have.
So it was a scale stage.
It's what
you talk about when you are saying now you're doing in the entrepreneurship class, you talk about survival, then you talk about success, and then you talk about significance.
So what the success stage.
And the focus changed from figuring stuff out to now, how do we get
how do we pay salaries? Is that which a business needs to do. Now, somebody who's creatively driven, at some point that will bore them. Because I'm creatively driven, But those who are operationally driven, that will excite them. Yeah. And I felt you were a combination of both. Yeah. And I guess because what you said from before, I wanted to learn how a business runs. Yes. You only learn through the operational side. You can create all you want. Yeah. By the way, you can be people like, I meet people who are like, I'm a creative. Yeah. You can create all you want. Yeah. But if there are no operations supporting that creativity, you will get to the point where this will bore you. So we go on this team building, We are going to Sagana. Okay?
Yes, I remember.
All right. So Waceke, if anyone doesn't know, I'm an introvert, okay? I'm an introvert. Despite what you see, where you see me, past this and my session today with Waithaka, I will want to go and just be by myself, Yep. So the team picks me up the bus, Me, I'm ready with my book and my coffee. And I was even wearing a hat that day. I go sit at the back of the bus. Yeah. Remember, I've already gotten the aha moment of I need to exit from CEO because I was bored with the business. I go sit at the back, but I've not figured out how I'm going to do this. You're there, you've just been left with the truth. You need to find a CEO, but who it is, you have no idea. Because actually it looked impossible because as CEO, you think I have to go hire somebody from outside who's going to cost a lot of money and all that. So I enter the bus and I take my position because I was like, I'm conserving my energy. When we get to Sagana, then I will interact with people. So we get on the bus and then who do I see? Waithaka has stood up as the bus is moving in front and you're getting us together. You have thought in advance of some games you wanted people to play. Me, first, I was in horror and shock that we have to play games before we get to
I'm sorry. I couldn't sit quiet for a whole hour and a half doing that.
I'm like, and this is supposed to be silent, so we recharge. But at the same time, as I watched you do it, I was like, see them, aha, again. A second aha moment with you. Could this be the CEO? And it was so, it's like, because when we got Sagana, those boats, I was like, I'm sitting somewhere in the middle, etc. And I was like, I'm sitting right in front. I was like, okay, could this be the next CEO of Centonomy? That actually is where I started thinking of you as CEO.
Yeah. Well, I have a big mouth, I guess. I talk a lot. But I think it's useful. Even what we teach in Centonomy as well, we tell people you have to take your space. Your work doesn't speak for you. You have to speak up, be present, have an idea, try something. Because I could have tried that day and guys could have been like, what are you doing? This is boring, and ended the whole thing. But I think if you try, you put yourself in a position that allows for others to notice you. And it's not like, honestly, I don't think I had the ambition of being the CEO. I didn't even see that as an option. And I think by that time, I was now already general manager. So I was part of the decision making. So I was good. I'm okay, I'm fine. And so I was like, we're going on a trip. Let's do something. Let's use the time. And in being present, in being active, in thinking, it opened a door for me. And sometimes when we're teaching people about their jobs, careers, growth, people always think that it's my work. I'm a hard worker. People can't see. No. Step up. Do what is not expected. Go over and above. Do your core business, your core work well. That's vital. But also do something unexpected. Go over and above. Try be a solution rather than always trying to find, being a problem to other people.
And I think I'll tell people who own businesses, open your eyes to who is in front of you. I think very quickly we try and, when new things come up, we go outside and start wondering what's the solution outside. But I'm a visionary. I think that has gone beyond, I see the vision for the business. I see the vision for people. So, and even till today, I'm telling the team, I don't see where you are today. I always see where you could be. So forgive me if I'm always talking to your future self. I do have that thing. And I think many people have it of, I think our role as business owners is not just to have a place where people come and pay and they get a pay slip, is while they are there, who are they becoming? And you can say in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, this person has become a different individual because they were there. So after that, I remember first, this is what I did. So in my head, once again, just the same way I said you're head of training, I decided you're going to be CEO. Again, we did a one-man interview, if it was an interview at all. But the first person, even before I told you, was Joanne. Because those of you who've interacted with Centonomy, you must know Joanne. Yeah, she's been there from the beginning. Because if you're a corporate, you know Joanne. But I knew that, and I think for people making certain decisions, always be almost emotionally attuned to, but who has to also be in this decision. Just because you own the business does not mean you are the one who gets to just make decisions by yourself. And I said, Joanne, this is who I am thinking about as CEO. And she was in total agreement with it. Yeah. So I actually wanted her endorsement before, because I knew you would have to work so closely with her. And then she'd move from reporting to me to reporting to you.
And she had been there longer.
And she had been there longer. She has grown Centonomy with me. She had grown Centonomy with me even up to the 10 years. Yeah. So she had been there a lot longer. But once she gave her go ahead, and I was glad we were on the same page, I went, your CEO interview was, Waithaka, let's go for a walk at Arboretum.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's when, did I pitch this time or I just, was it a pitch this time? Yeah, again, it was a pitch.
I don't know. It's a real tool, and not a tool. I say it's a gift that you have. Like you are able to, both times I had no choice but to say yes, because it's like we are going somewhere.
Yeah.
I believe this thing.
Yeah.
I know what the outcome is going to be. This is where I see us in this X number of years.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful, because if you grab onto that vision, like if somebody else grabs onto it, then you're not kind of pulling people along, like you're walking together with them. And yeah, man, that's very powerful. It was not a push. It was, let's go. I can see. I can see. So you've been CEO for 7 years. Yeah.
I know you could write a book, but we don't have time for a book today.
Yeah.
But what would you say first? How do you manage to run a company? You see, being CEO, I think if you're in these places that have done multiple layers of succession, it's a bit different. Yeah. How was it being CEO? First, I'll ask you, with a company that still has a strong visionary and a founder. Yeah. Because you see, you're there, but we've not 100% released, but you are CEO.
So I think, if you're seeing me writing, because I don't want to miss points
no worries.
Up. It was, I wanted, first of all, mention this about you, which is also a really powerful thing, that you're always learning.
Yeah.
And that's something that I found that's
Thank you.
weird. I thought now you know, like you're doing the thing. And from when I joined Centonomy, you were attending a program here. I think you did Strathmore Business School.
Babson.
While I was there, then you went, Babson was later. Then you did, Babson first, yes.
And then Stanford
Seed. So the whole time, I'm just watching you. And one of the things that you're constantly doing is learning.
Yeah.
And I think early on, I didn't understand. I was watching it, but I didn't understand. And you would push us in the same way and say, especially to the team, it is, what do you want to learn? Where do you want to go? As part of, as the organization to grow, we needed to grow. And I must admit, early on, I didn't take that seriously. I was like, no, I've gone to school. I know what I'm doing. But I think for you, that constant curiosity, that was something that was important to me, and it's taught me a lot.
I think for Centonomy, I think when you're running a company like Centonomy, because Centonomy is about empowering others, it's about educating others, it's about standing up with people, and hopefully you know something that you can translate to them.
Yeah.
So my motives for learning have always been, one, for sure, for the business, because I think entrepreneurship is one of those things that you become a student of for life, of life and for life. Yeah. And so I needed to understand, and because I'm most people, I'm the founder. People are looking to me for decisions, but it was not structured enough to have a board or things at that time. So I am at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I don't want the buck to stop when I'm limited. So let me be expanding so the buck has somewhere to go. Yeah. So that was it. But also I'm responsible. We've got 200, 300 people coming through our classes. They need to learn. They need to keep being refreshed on what we actually learn. If I'm not learning, then nobody else is learning. And I've always known that I don't want to be the smartest in the room. I've always said, I want to be, you guys tell me. And I think even when I was running the business that time, you tell me, I'm here to listen. I made sure one of the things I did in Centonomy was to empower you guys I'm not chairing the team meeting. I exited from chairing the team meeting. I used to come as an attendee, if at all, of the team meeting, so people can come up with their own solutions outside of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that was one I wanted to make sure. So you had jumped ahead. Now we're at 2018 when that transition work is happening. And for me, again, the learning was now you have to financially, not just financially, but also even as far as what product are you offering into the world, you start looking at what's the future holding. Yeah. So we started looking at projections for the business. So we know what we want to sell, but then we're setting targets. These are things I had never done, like in my business. I was always project-based. You jump from one thing to another, and it's not like with an outcome in mind. It's you know what to do it. But here now we're looking at, we have classes. How many students are you going to have in that class? When are you going to get that class to start? What is the projected revenue coming from each one of these? And those are things I had never done, but now I'm sitting with you and we are working through this. And for me, that was a game changer as far as business is concerned, because I realized business is not just passion. Yeah. Because that's the side you see. Yeah. You see, like when I was attending the webinars, not webinars, that time it was seminars, and we'd come in the room, you're seeing passionate Waceke talking about money like it's life and everything. And you're drawn into that. And then you go home and you're wondering, business, how does that apply? Business is sit down, set goals, set targets, then make a plan how to hit those targets, hold each other accountable. This is all stuff I was learning in that brief 3-year period, 2015, 2018 there. Cash flow projections. And you've mentioned Joanne a few times, and I think it's so important that you have. So Joanne is very unlikely. I don't know if you'll ever get her on a podcast like this. I don't know.
I think she's coming, but she's coming.
No, she's tried. Steve, you can see Steve at the back there shaking his head. But she's stepped up a bit. Like now doing some of the training work with Safaricom that we're doing. But you also begin to understand people's roles in the organization. Like you have they're the guys who just get down and get the job done. Yeah. And that's her. Yeah. And so and in fact, one of the frustrations for her and others in the team who are like her, I think Malvin and others are similar, is if you don't give them a job to get done, that's very frustrating because they feel like they're like, I'm just waiting to be given direction, because once you give them direction, that's all they need. They're going there, no problem. They'll get the resources together. And one of your strengths as an entrepreneur that I noticed is that you highlight and empower for your strength. Yeah. So even calling it out. So I'm eternally grateful for that, because you called out the leader in me, but you also did the same for other people. Like you're calling out your gift and say, okay, this is, we don't need Joanne in the strategy meeting, essentially. Yeah. Not that she can't make a strategy, but that's not her strength. Yeah. You want her to come when now you have the full picture and then say, this is what we're going, 2 seconds, she's gotten the team ready. She has everyone in place and does that. And then you want the creative guys, Kinamamboy and all, in that strategy. Ruby in the strategy meeting, because they'll think broadly, you know? Real strength that you have. And man, you asking me now what it was like to serve under you. I don't know. I think like any relationship, there's up and down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And and it's a discovery process. I think you have to. It's what the Bible says about iron sharpening iron. The idea is that as you rub against each other, you get sharper, you get clearer, and that's what. And that interaction is what I would describe. It's iron against iron. It's that sharpening, and I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Because it was, you are very clear about where you want to go, so you would hold us accountable, and that's a big part of leadership in that role, is to say, this is what we said we're going to do. Have you done it? Are you heading that direction? That's one of the things. And then learning what to you have to say and what you don't have to. I think early on in the early stages, it was very consistent meeting, very consistent discussions. And then after a year or two, then it's kind of like you have a meeting, almost like a board meeting.
Yeah.
This is where we're going. Yeah. Done. And then the team goes ahead and figures out what to do. But that, well, from my perspective, I don't know what you feel about it. From my perspective, watching you, that's humility. Because I don't think I've seen that in many organizations. There's a humility to be able to say, they're good.
Yeah.
And also the ability to step in when you know things are not going right.
Yeah.
Because it's not 100% that we were right. So for me, that's why you're asking what it is to serve under someone like you. It's a sharpening. That's what it is.
It's a sharpening.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, it was, I'll come back what it was to work with you specifically. But for me, first of all, leaving your company to be run by somebody else. It's not easy. As much as I knew it's the right decision, make no mistake that it was just an easy thing and I sailed off into the sunset with ease. It doesn't happen that way. You kind of go through, it's like, I guess, your child going to college or something like that. Yes. It's a very emotional process, but you just know it has been done. So when it first happens, and I remember we went to Capital Club, we toasted. I still have those pictures. We signed the contract and it was done. Yeah. When it first happened, you're confused. I was confused. And then you said, when you said the ups and downs, I was like, sometimes what causes this is the downs. You don't know what to wake up and think about, but think about this business. Yeah. So that doesn't go overnight. Yeah. And I remember when I was asking you, I was like, and I remember the coach who asked, when I finally told her it was you, she's like, what's your worry? I was like, will he worry enough? Because you're like, I could hand over. Then you're like, it's just a job. But you know, if you're running this company, you're worried about everything. Yeah. Will he worry enough? And for sure, you worried and then some. Yeah. But first you feel lost. Yeah. And you feel irrelevant. So there's a time I realized myself, I'm trying to be co-CEO. Yeah. But I can't be co-CEO. Then I'm sending mixed signals to everybody. Do we listen to Waithaka or do we listen to Waceke? Yeah? But it's because you're feeling irrelevant. And I remember there's a time I had given you my office. So one good thing I did is I physically exited the office. So I didn't maintain my office. And then I'm like, Waithaka is CEO there. Yeah. I physically handed over my office to you. And I remember coming in once. So not only don't I have somewhere specific to sit, but I came and things were going on. Like there was a buzz, projects were going on that I didn't know anything about. Yeah. And I remember standing in the corridor of our offices, like, nobody even knows I'm here. And I remember, I don't even know what I came specifically, maybe to sign a few checks. After I did that, I just left. Nobody noticed I left. Nobody noticed I was there. I was like,
I'm sorry.
People were busy.
Should have had dancers waiting for you.
No. That was actually when I knew succession is successful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I was like, I went, I think I took myself for lunch, lunch, and like nobody knows I exist. So you go through boredom. Yeah, you go through boredom. Yes. And my intention was to take on creative projects, but a couple of things. First, it doesn't come instantly, even this burst of creativity that you actually want. Don't come in whatever. But along the way, what I found is I had not accepted at some point that I was burnt out. And Why? Because 10 years of the kind of work Centonomy does is very emotionally intensive. Yeah. And because of the kind of person I am, where I go dig deep to come out with a communication or to the content, it had actually exhausted me. Yeah. But when I say what was it working with you, I want to answer it from two perspectives. Before I go into how it was what I learned working with you, but what you did for me. Say I told you about the burnout, yeah? But sometimes God brings people in because he knows. Leave the logical explanation why the company needed a CEO like you then, yeah? What happened in my life for the last 7 years, yeah? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about, yes, you're running a business, but you are a human being going through human things. The business, because it's yours, is a very emotional relationship. Yes, we call our business our babies, but you're going through emotional things as well. Yeah. And for me, then my emotional energy has to deal with this, then that means my emotional energy can't completely be there. So something is going to give. Yeah. So I was in an adoption process and it didn't go through, so I lost my son. And I remember just after, I think you had started, and we had a whole transition plan. If you remember, we even had a coach to help us transition. And I was out of the transition plan immediately. So she had to transition you and the team, because we had done a whole transformation map at Centonomy. And she basically had to, you had to do it because after that, there was no functioning for me for about 4 months, as in zero lockdown. If you had wanted to come give me the keys of the business, I would have taken the keys, but I was not after that kind of loss. Because this was a boy who had nurtured him till he was almost 5 years old, was all suddenly removed from my house. I was not going to be able to function. And in the midst of all the pain, I remember telling God, but thank God for the team at Centonomy. Thank God there's a CEO. Because Centonomy continued. Nobody knew that Waceke has going through something and can't function. So people came, classes were going, people are seeing, because you became visible, they're seeing you in the open days, they're seeing you on media. So I was like, thank God. That happened. So for me, first of all, transition was immediate. Because apart from the couple of months before that happened, when I was feeling irrelevant, confused co-CEO, once that happened, by the time those 4 or 5 months were done, I had a different relationship with the business. I was now almost quite detached. But it's not just that. After that, then came COVID.
Before you go there, because you've jumped now. So my perspective, big shoes.
During that time,
because it is like not even just the transition itself. It's daunting because this is a company that you have nurtured, you built. I said it's 10 years of experience. Who is this guy? What authority does he have to speak with of the same way with the team? You're also like, you were involved in most of the major hires, like the leadership team that we have. And so now, and I was one of them. So, you're coming from being one of them, the pack, and now you're not in the group. So that's very hard. Like it's, how do you start separating? Now so here's how you can tell it's a shift. So we did early on when I had joined Centonomy, we did personality tests so that we can be able to understand where everyone is, how do we work well together, all that stuff. And we shared that with the team and everybody. So I did that then. Then we did that again after I had now become CEO. Now it is in this transition period that we're doing. And I'd done a year or so as general manager then into into CEO role, and my personality had changed. Like even how your outlook in the world is. So your main markers that you're an extrovert, you're like this, don't change, but how you view the world begins to change.
Yeah.
So there are minor shifts that go on it. You don't have the freedom.
Yeah.
Like to be, you have to, what I'm trying to say, you have to fit the role that you are in. And that actually changed me, like personality wise.
Wow.
And it was, we took the same test and I answered the same. I thought, and when the results came out, like, that's very weird. Like I'm not the same person that I was. And it was because you're pushed into a space that you have to grow. I think before we started talking, it's that transition seasons force you to grow, because you now can't fit, and that's a good thing. I honestly couldn't be who you are, and it was now for me to discover who am I as a leader. So that's what I was going through.
And you have to, for me, it was also, I was forced to, because of that circumstance, to trust that what I have done this far is enough. Because my grand plan for transition was to have more of an oversight of you. It was always to kind of still be there where I'm still tracking certain things very closely, etc. But when I was forced to, because you literally cannot, be out for at least 4 months. And even when I did come back for a long time, even up to a year after, I still wasn't never that to the level I was before. You're forced to trust, hey, Waceke, what you did in 10 years is enough. And I think a lot of business owners, they never get to the point where they can trust that what you did is enough, because we're always looking for ways that thing that guarantees me that things won't go X, Y, Z. Actually, nothing guarantees you, and things do go X, Y, Z. I think I learned that, and I'm even going into now what I learned specifically from you. When you're a founder, for a long time, you're the be-all and end-all. We don't like to admit that it does give us a sense of relevance, And sometimes, many times, it feeds our ego when people need us, So even when you do have good people or you hire a CEO like you, you're still not thinking of them as an equal. Yes. Granted, there's still some risk that you take because you're the founder or the shareholder of the business. But I learned along the way, this is 7 years, and I told you ups and downs along this journey, You have to, I have probably changed in the way I communicate, because now I'm not communicating boss to employee. It's equal to equal, And maybe sometimes because of your position in being day to day, you have a perspective that I no longer have eyes on, But then my position, because I'm also out there in the world experiencing different things that you're not experiencing, plus, coupled with I have a governance responsibility on the business and accountability responsibility on the business, I also have a perspective. So for me, those years were just learning ups, downs, learning myself, learning when to talk to people. Like, do not talk to people early in the morning. Just wait till 10 o'clock or late at night, when not to talk to people. And it allowed me to use, I think, a strength that naturally comes back to me. Please think and reflect before you actually do that.
So okay, yes, year one was hard. I will just be very honest. That was 2019.
2019.
That was hard, but we didn't have time, because as I said,
gone.
So we had to figure out what was going to happen, and then 2020
COVID,
that's it, and everything shifted.
COVID shifted, because even then at 2020 for a while, we could, all roles disappeared. And I remember for a while, even me, I came, what does the business need? All hands. So I found myself almost back because we had to get through COVID. But
it's because our business was shut down.
Also, we were shut down. Who made the present Sunday?
Correct.
Tuesday, we have people coming into the office for classes. We couldn't have classes. And I remember I was like, thank God to you in the team, because when I got there, they were, who is training us on Zoom or what? And we just kept it moving.
So it was, again, it was a season of, now we have
We have
there's
to reinvent.
no script. There's
we have
no
to
script.
reinvent.
And so I think that also worked into the whole
it did.
leadership discussion. Yeah.
For me now, who's out, because I was supposed to, what I learned over the 7 years, because sometimes I beat myself down because I was like, there are things we did, obviously, but I was like, Waceke, you didn't do that. Big specific projects that not having have to be in the operations of the business. You should have come up with this massively huge project, that has, but this is what I learned, the purpose of this. And if you ever, first of all, it is a privilege to have had that time, because you get to experiment. I experimented on a lot of things, and I now realize they were experiments. This podcast now is an official podcast, but it began as an experiment during that time. I published a book, which, everything's always an experiment, but an experiment that worked out really well. It's worked out really well, I experimented on women and money quite a bit. I was still doing keynote speeches and things, and just starting things that are forming the head that look sort of fragmented and disjointed. But later, I'll talk about that later, you come and see that whole experience was actually coming together. And
can I say something, if you don't mind, about this season? Because it was a season of just hard things. So COVID hits, you don't know where the business is going. If you remember, because all corporates shut down, a third of the business disappeared overnight.
Oh yes, it did.
And what we didn't realize at that time is how it was affecting the rest of the team. And so in this season, what I am most grateful for, and I hope business owners will hear this, the structure that you had put in the company saved us. And when I mean structure, I mean now specifically like financial checks that are in place. And so it meant that there was order. Because during this time, we had an employee who was part of the finance team, if you remember, who was also going through a really tough time in his life. And was, it was just hard.
It was hard, yes.
For him. And spiraled out of, and he eventually left the organization. But because of the checks and balances you had put in the company, because he had access to the finances, he couldn't steal.
Now,
what was very hard during that time is that we had formed like a welfare group,
which is where we were robbed.
And everybody was part of that. And we were really, people had saved, had borrowed from it. It was like how a circle works. And within the Centonomy family, we were doing that. Now, unfortunately, we didn't put in the same level of structure that was there. And so from there, that happened. Like he managed to steal from there. And that was a hard thing to go through. Like it was just because now you realize it is human beings and everyone is going through hard stuff that you can't imagine. And so even now mental wellness became a part of our leadership discussions that were there, because we realized you don't know what people are going through and how do you support them.
And it was heartbreaking as people sat in front of me and cried because the savings for their children had gone. But I want to thank you for going back there. I want to talk a bit about some of those structures. One, I think, and any business that can do this, when we're teaching people in Centonomy 101, we always tell people have an emergency fund. I think what helped us in Centonomy during that time is the company has always had an emergency fund. For the emergency fund, for those of you who've been Centonomy, you know this, what would happen to your life if your salary disappeared for 3 months or 6 months. So in Centonomy, we had put that so that we can pay our basic expenses for a while as we figure things out. But there were some fundamental mistakes that we also made. And sometimes that the call was mine. I went a bit too far in saving the company and I've never recovered because some of that also sometimes came personally from because you're in such vested interest to save the company that you want to keep saving the company. Other organizations were doing salary cuts and etc. But at some point I wanted to save like my children from having to go through that. But at one point, and I remember calling you and said, if we have 50% in the of salaries in the bank account, we pay 50%. If we have 30%, because sometimes when you're the one saving, what happens in the culture of the business, people get used to you saving and always know their backup plan, that they're not thinking of what's the alternative. But when we said that thing, we pay what is in the bank account, which is a policy till today, people are like, okay, so how do we get ourselves back into full-time salary? So I think I also want to say, Waithaka, you are the kind of CEO who you entered the trenches. When it was time for, okay, but the people higher up, me, you and Joanne, it mostly happened, the three of us, you guys are getting 20%, everyone else get 30%. Sometimes we didn't get, and we had to be paid, months with the company orders for a while.
But what's telling, that's telling. It was easy because it started with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to gloss over that. You follow leaders you trust and you believe in, and that's what it was easy.
Yeah.
Because I saw you do it. Guys didn't know. Like for months we were not paying you.
Me.
Guys didn't know.
They didn't know.
So them, they're receiving their salaries, and you're there just saying, you know what, it's okay. We'll get back at some point. We'll do it. But that's not an easy thing. That's a tough choice. And so it made it, how would I say it? It's not easy. It was, I believed in it because I saw you do it first. I'm like, let's get this done. Yeah. So if it had just been, many times when it's a large organization, people don't know. Like, they don't know what's happening in the background. The thought process, everyone is, us we're being, our salaries are cut and people are still surviving there at the top. But that's a big deal.
And me. I think so that people don't get it wrong, it is because I was like, delay mine. Yeah. But delay being the key word. Yeah. It doesn't mean stop your salary. It means that it is recorded that the company owes me money so that later, so when you do find yourself sort of having to fill in for the company, later, first of all, make sure there's a plan for the company to come back. Yes. And then later, get the company to pay you back. Yes. So this is what I did with the salary and anybody's salary that was owed. Is the company had to pay me back for the times I didn't take the salary. But I think you're talking about is the fact that the act was there.
And no matter what, Waceke, it takes faith. Because you don't know. You don't know what the future holds. So you are taking a huge risk. And so, that's respected.
And I think
grateful for.
Okay, all right. So then comes the next step, and before even I go to the next step, even as I was doing this CEO 7 years, I'm in, I'm out, I'm dealing with emotional issues. I also dealt a divorce in the same span of 7 years as well, which again was another. I was like, okay, God, I hope we're done with all the emotional COVID, my son, divorce. Are we done? Are we done now? Have I paid? Can I get, another like smooth 20 years? But what never leaves you during that time is a vision. And I think I came to the office one day. Was it early last year? I think it was early last year. Or the year before. And I was telling you and Joanne, because I was feeling burnt out and I was wondering, how can I be burnt out from in-out work? But I was feeling burnt out yet again. And I was like, I can't see. I can't see. And when a visionary can't see, it's like a tennis player who can't play tennis. You feel now there's no more purpose in this. I remember I was even crying tears because when I can't see. But the irritation is the call to vision never ends. So you don't have the vision, but you are called to vision. And because I couldn't see, I thought I was completely done. And the time I talked to you, I was like, please prepare for my complete exit because I'm done. But the funny thing is, you'd say things and God has a way of laughing. So we come to this point. The tears may come.
No,
Not yet. Before I come to this point,
so when you said that, again, pressure.
Yeah.
So
because I'm done.
Suddenly there's a vacuum and you have to fill space.
Yeah.
So who has been kind of giving vision and clarity for the organization is Waceke.
Yeah.
So more of the role now is strategy planning, and execution on my side. But vision has always been on your shoulders, right? And so when you said, you know what, I'm done. So who is seeing what's happening now? So again, pressure, you're now forced to say, what do you see? That's what now was on my life at that time. Is now it's no longer you're following somebody else's vision. It is now, what do you see? And so I started seeing where are there gaps, where there's potential, where is there, what do we think the next step could be? And that was a result of what was happening.
Right result of what was happening. So there was a purpose to that.
So even as you're doing the back end side of that restructuring, you're also now, you have to see what's next. So I thought it's necessary.
Before we go to the next step, So even just to follow that up, me, I'm here, I can't see. Yes. And even looking at options beyond me, do I sell? You start evaluating, is this the exit? Do I just go and do my books?
Yes.
Because I could tell I still have a call to transform people's lives with business conversations, money conversations, the book. Do I just go do that? Do I sell the company, put the money and just in a money market fund, treasury bill, and just live off the interest? You're just also seeing how you can just be comfortable with this as is. And then as you're tethering, then again, God starts disturbing you about that. I don't think I was wrong for making you question, do I see for your own journey? But God laughed at me, he disturbed me, and he started dropping just signs along the way. And I think the biggest sign was I get an email and Harvard want to work with Centonomy, and they want us to work on a project.
Yes.
We had already, there's some things I had already started talking or mentioning to you, and I can imagine it was so confusing. I've said I've gone. I'm trying to talk to you. Probably you've started seeing different things, and I'm trying, and I can see how all of them fit together, but now I'm seeing something so big, Then Harvard come. So first of all, the validation that Harvard have come to work with your business on a project and sit with you, and you've become one of the businesses in Kenya that they're going to work with, and just going through that process, because that I think also they really wanted to work with me as the founder, so I got a lot more engaged with them than you did, Then you start conceptualizing something, and then I don't know if it's a day, it's over time, it just clarity you've been waiting for 7 years finally comes, my clarity on the business. But I don't think I was the only one getting clear on something.
I think don't gloss over it, because I think that's a really powerful lesson from what I saw. Harvard didn't just show up. You called them. And you didn't call them directly. You had written.
Thanks for reminded. I had been telling the team for years that we are the kind of business that Harvard will come to us and study us. And I have a fridge magnet, that says Centonomy will be studied by Harvard University. And I think then what happened is through the networks through Stanford Seed, I was one of the businesses chosen, and they just walked in. And from the initial, first of all, it was sort of they were interviewing us. But from the initial conversation, because remember Hakim, he said, I want to hear your story. And when I told the story, he's like, okay, I just want to let you know that you're in.
That was it.
So the power, but I want to let other business people know, you don't understand the power of your story. They didn't come to look at our P&L. They have never looked at our P&L, but the story and the work just
the
spoke,
impact
the impact actually and just telling the story the same way we're having a conversation. I didn't script the story. I was like, I started it because I was broke. No.
Yes.
And yes, it was a validation that there's something you've been feeling, Sheke. You're not done. You thought you were done, but actually, your worker's vision, those 7 years were to go through what you're going through, but let your spirit, mind, emotions rest.
Yes.
Because they will be needed in a way that you don't even...
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes,
you disrupted us.
Yes.
And that was hard.
Yeah.
Beginning of this year was hard because there had been that call to what do you see? How do you build this? And then the opportunity. And you can't say no to an opportunity like that. So like, okay, let the Harvard team come, we'll do the work with them. And then once they go, let's get back to business. Yes. So they go and then, no, but Waceke is still here telling us, no, I see. And I'm like, okay, so what do you see? And you try and explain and you'd explain to the team and you're talking, well, at least to the leadership at that time, and you'd explain and like, okay, but what about the things that we were going to do? And that was hard. It was hard because I'm like, okay, I don't see it. And I'm trying to see it, and I really am. And
you really did.
And it is it's hard because this is 10 years of life, and you've seen together for 10 years. And now you can't. And now it was really, and I don't really remember how many times we sat and tried to meet, and you would bring in and you did presentations, you talked us through it, and I'd still call back and ask, what do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
And then there's also that frustration of what we were doing and what I had seen myself. Yeah. And so it was just like, what is happening? And I don't think I was aware or alive to it yet.
Yeah.
I took time to process.
And even for me, I was feeling the same thing, but from the opposite. You see, I think I told you this, I can't unsee what I've seen. Yes. Yeah, I just can't unsee it. You can't just sit here and say, oh, well, let's pretend I never saw it. I didn't struggle. I didn't struggle to see it. Things just fell in line. And I remember even me, I tried to explain. But I'm just like, and even if you try, I'm like, not quite. Then we'd meet and then I'm like, okay, I get where you're coming from. But because I'm seeing there, not just here, we have to do this way.
Yes.
And
And this was stressful because the very first meeting that we had so you have to think about it.
Yeah.
2010, I have that email when we spoke. 2010, he said, I'm doing this. We are both trying to build businesses. Aligns. Yeah. Good. 2012, I come and do the program. We aligned very good. 2014, I start joining the training team. Yeah. And again, it was kind of one of those things. It just worked. It fit. There was no issue. 2015, we have the discussion. You paint the picture of the future. Aligned. 2018, transformation program. Aligned. And I'm like, did we start speaking a different language? And there was it was hard. Let me tell you, it's hard not to be able to understand.
Yeah.
But I guess it was revealing what the future would be.
What the future. So go ahead.
So it was. So we had many meetings this past year with the team, with you. And I'd go home and I'd talk to Sheila, and I'm just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'd even say, does she not get what I'm trying to say as well? And we'd pray about it. But just, that's where it was. So I don't know how you want to bring the result of all this prayer
the result
and friction
of that is you work together for a while, but there comes a point where you're just being called to different things and nobody can unsee what they have seen. Yeah. So for us at Centonomy, it means Waithaka is transitioning out of being CEO after 7 years of CEO, but over 10 years of being with Centonomy. Yeah. And it means that I am going to lead Centonomy into the future, for what how it needs to be led into the future. So I am, for now, stepping back in. I don't intend to be CEO again forever. It's for a short window of time, but I'm stepping back in as CEO because I'll keep saying this, and so that even all visionaries out there feel okay and comfortable when you can't unsee what you have seen. And I think the validation when you finally, and I'll talk about first of all the feelings of when now it became clear you have to transition. The validation you gave me is I don't get it, and I can't lead what I can't see. So at first, a small part of me is like, have I seen the wrong thing and everything you see? But the second part was like, this is validation that it is, I never, even when I had the vision, I was never coming back as CEO, But now with you transitioning out, it was validation that for sure, and as I work to the several things we're doing with Centonomy, which I'll talk about, there's a design behind how you do things as a business owner. And what has come clear as daylight to me is the design, not even the what. It's the uniqueness of any business is behind the scene, the way things just fit together. That's right. Is the design. And even when you are bringing in what you wanted to do, I was like, I see it, but I see it fitting in together with a bigger design. So there was a particular way I wanted to execute it. But when you said that, I was like, okay, let me accept. And then I thought, do I get an RCO? I was like, actually, it's not about getting an RCO. They'll have the same problem, because when a vision is fresh, it's like when Centonomy started, it was still a vision. And vision is a very irritating journey. I keep telling people this in our entrepreneurship program. It just never ends. You think once you get here, then you see something different to see. Just like Centonomy started, the way you are saying that structure was so important, but I saw it. It's like God gives you a blueprint that you don't understand, but it's a blueprint. In the same way, I have a blueprint for something. And I know it because I received it 16 years ago. I received the blueprint and look what happened. Now that I have this blueprint, I'm like, oh my goodness. So in a way, I feel like a startup again. But because I am a creative person and it involves a lot of creative, and even the design of the business is creative, I am now excited to be leading this. I am so grateful for what you did. As I said, you held the company together in a time when my emotional energy just was not going to be able to do. You were the right person for the last 7 years, Waithaka. The company grew, the brand grew. People needed to still see a voice, and your voice was strong. The culture that you formed in Centonomy, you brought your all. You left everything on the table. I cannot take anything away from you as CEO of Centonomy. So I want to honor you for the work you have done. It is a God-given privilege to have worked with you. And I know for not just the team, I'm crying on behalf of the team. You impacted so many people. When we say the numbers of Centonomy, it's because you helped impact Centonomy. The students, the alumni, the community. But there comes a time, and I just want to say something before I forget. You told me in one of the discussions, when you now gave me your decision to transition, you told me, but Waceke, you gave me permission to leave. Because I remember there's a discussion we had, and you said you were clear what God is calling you to do. And I said, Waithaka, if God is calling you and it is your season, it is your season. I'm not going to stand in your way.
And that's a big deal. think when we were celebrating 10 years with a couple of team members at the office this year, and that was a milestone. It had not hit me. It was a weird realization. Like, it's kind of one of those things. Because on my LinkedIn, I put in officially at Centonomy now. It was 2016 because I had been training now. Now I joined the team, but I had done for like a year before that as part of the training team. So I had not put that. Yeah. So in LinkedIn, it showed up as 9 years, but I was like, no, it was 2015, it's 2025.
Yeah.
And so like, we need to do something about that. That was earlier this year. But I wrote it down and I meant it. And is that you changed my life in so many ways. First of all, on the personal side, which is that I became aware that, imagine I need to take care of my finances, and you've done that for thousands of people. And then you called out leadership in me that I didn't know that I had, and allowed me to grow. And I mean it, you changed my life. I was heading in a certain direction as far as my career is concerned and everything. And now I'm known as Waithaka, the money guy, the guy of Centonomy. I never saw that. It was not in my life and in my mind. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I am.
Thank you.
And in fact, so much so that I think the decision to leave Centonomy was fed by that. That it's kind of like, you've shown me this is how it is done, and gave the freedom for me to do that as well. So nothing but gratefulness.
Nothing but gratefulness.
Yes.
And it's not the end. It is a new way of partnership that is unfolding. Yeah. I think you have said, because of there's no conflict with certain things, that you love training, and you're going to. So we'll be happy to hear you are still. They'll still see you in class, in certain sessions, and as your new journey unfolds, we're going to keep the conversation open as to how we can partner together. So for me, it's not an end; it's just a new season, and the way God works, it's clear that it had to be this way for the both of us. I mean, the end, when you're giving birth to a baby, the end is hard. But whatever we are both birthing had to be birthed.
That's right.
It had to be birthed this way, I would like you to, what would you say to the Waithaka who walked into that Women and Money event? To that cameraman, what would you say to that cameraman?
Trust God and keep moving forward. Because I can't say in any way that like I had my hand to make where I am right now. Like it's not, I didn't make it. But I think it was trusting God and being faithful where He has called you to be. Do everything you can where you are to the best of your ability. And I've seen God's faithfulness. He is faithful. He's faithful. He's faithful. Because I couldn't see this, but He is faithful.
I'm going to ask myself the same question. What would I say to the person who started Centonomy 16 years ago? It is a journey you are never going to know when it begins, when it ends, and what evolves. I would tell her that there's so many, 16 years, ups and downs, even till today, ups and downs. But this too shall pass. So with every hurdle, This too shall pass. I would tell her, please allow yourself to be the emotional person that you are. Feel those feelings because your strength lies in the way sometimes feelings are being processed. So that's what I would tell that person. It's just a journey that you cannot foretell. I would never have thought I would hand over a CEO. I would hand over CEO to somebody else. Once I did and got comfortable with it, I never thought I would step back in as CEO. I never thought I would see what I'm seeing for Centonomy. I never thought. I mean, sometimes I ask God, are you sure? Are you sure? But he keeps dropping signs that this is the way, walk it. So that's what I'd say. But also, I just want to acknowledge that it is not easy to let you go. It is, I've always said I don't want to use this word, but it's been more than a partnership. And even I've had to sit with pain to feel it, the same way you feel pain for a divorce. I've had to sit with my children at the office and see them process pain, because you are a special kind of leader. So it's not easy. So there's stages of grief, anger, denial, all those. I was angry at you. I felt betrayed. I felt also all those things. Because even me, I'm remembering, but we had these conversations. And that with these conversations, so you feel all that, and then you just come to a place of acceptance and release. So I release you with all the blessing in my heart.
Amen.
I release you with all the blessing in my heart. And may God bring you abundance in your journey. And may he continue revealing for both of us what he has in store. I
think I'm learning from you. Write it down, because everything that you've achieved, you wrote down first. You wrote, this company will work without me. And it came to pass.
It did.
You wrote, Harvard is going to come and study.
And it came to pass.
I know you're writing now even about, you wrote, I'm going to write a book.
It came
and
to
you
pass.
have written a book. And so I'm learning that. Write down what you see. And I'm I'm still processing as well. With my with the rest of the team as well, and trying not to say goodbye completely.
But because it is not goodbye.
That's what I'm saying.
It is just a change in a way that we are going to work together.
Right.
Okay, so for everybody watching this has been, and if you have spent the entire, I don't know how much time we've taken watching the whole story, which I hope many of you have managed to get through the whole story, it is an authentic story. I wanted to tell this story this way rather than a poster out on LinkedIn because in business, we don't go through business. We go through human experiences. And it would be denying us the ability to, this has been therapy, I think, for both you, me and Waithaka. It has been would have been denied us that experience, that closure that we've gotten possibly from doing this together. Even for the team at Centonomy, they've probably never had this version of the story. Steve, you probably had it for the first time. This version of the story, this deep. But to those out there, just to understand that your business can evolve. Your business can run without you. You can come back into your business. You can get good people and give them the opportunity. And for me, it's always, can you trust yourself? Trust what you are doing and just trust what God is putting in front of you. And always take a step back and think, what am I supposed to be learning? What's going on? And just be honest with yourself. Why am I feeling some of these feelings? So I needed to give this guy Waithaka honor this way, but I also needed to Centonomy is not just a company that trains people. Yeah. Centonomy itself is a story. Yeah. And Centonomy itself is an African business story. And the reality of African business stories, we go through these African human experiences that without which we are not being true to ourselves. We are not being authentic. So this is a story of succession of Centonomy. Succession doesn't just mean there was a CEO. There was a CEO. But the ongoing succession means the founder is stepping back in for a short time as leader to set some foundations for the way forward. And the succession will continue as you start seeing what's ahead for Centonomy. So some of you may be wondering what's ahead for Centonomy. Yeah. So for me, it continues. The show must go on. I've always said the show must go on. And even the team will tell you, I've always come and told them the show must go on. Yeah. For me, I have come back and realized I am not leading the same way I was leading before. Yeah. There's more. I have changed. So I needed the 7 years to change. There's more clarity. There's more. I can see 10 steps ahead faster. I can tell what's wasting time, what's not wasting time. I think people have to get to there's a bit more directness coming from me, but at the same time, a lot of empathy coming from me at the same time. So I'm operating in two phases. I am excited. I am not bored anymore. So that has passed. Yeah. And I feel a renewed sense of purpose and energy to get this done. Similar to what I felt 16 years ago when I actually started the business. So we're living in such a different world and people have such different needs. And I'm excited about meeting those needs. Centonomy so far through our courses, our classes with organizations, through individuals, we've impacted over 300,000 people's lives, yeah? From factory workers to CEOs, people have paid debt, bought houses, fixed money and relationships, been able to take holidays as their business continues running. And all this is on our social media. So you are probably part of the transformation of Centonomy. If not, please, just look into us and see how to join some of our classes. Yeah, we've shown people even when you're not paid a salary, you can actually survive. Yeah, but now it's no longer just about teaching. It's no longer just about training. It's about reshaping culture, reshaping conversations, and inviting you to be a tribe, an ecosystem where money meets you at your doorstep, yeah? Where there's a personal interaction with money in your personal life, in money in your business, so that it becomes together we raise the money or wealth consciousness, not just of this country, Kenya, not just of Uganda, but of Africa. What can Africa be if people are a lot more money conscious is what is disturbing me. So as our business, our next chapter is about legacy. Yeah, we've done survival, we've done success as a business, as many businesses, but we are answering the question because we were here, because God gave us 16 years. Yeah. And I don't take that for granted. Not many businesses make it to 16 years, but because we have 16 years, what actually happens? Yeah. So keep following us. Look out for, yeah. This is just an example of one of the many podcasts we will be doing because our work now is to storytell. We have created so much impact in Centonomy that you probably don't know about. But in Centonomy, in the people who've gone through our classes, what is our community, our alumni? Somebody has a story that's so similar to yours. And maybe what we have not done well and we're going to do much better is making you understand you are not the only human going through what you are going through. And because another human went through that and got out of that and thrived through that, so can you. So please look out on our platforms, Making Sense Conversations and Diary of a Mad African Entrepreneur. Diary of a Mad African Entrepreneur for business stories, Making Sense Conversations for money stories that touch you at a personal level. In the current programs, you've probably been part of our corporate training when we come to organizations and train staff members. You've probably done Centonomy 101, which helps you with your personal finance. You've probably done Centonomy Entrepreneur. What can you expect? We understand learning money, learning business is one thing, but now we're going to make it experiential for you. Coming to Centonomy is not just a class. It is an experience. We don't want to just teach you and leave you with information. We want to transform
transform the way you think, transform your life so you can achieve your own level of abundance. So look out for that. To our alumni, our community, do you know we could have not gotten here without you? So we have something in store for you. You have been asking, we have been wondering how to do it. We have been wondering how do we structure ourselves, how to do it. But we know you want to continue being in a community with people who have gone through Centonomy and think like you. We know you want to continue building. We know you want to continue learning. We know you want to have some sort of accountability. So November, end of November 27th to be exact, look out, we're having something for you to introduce you to not just fellow alumni that have done great things, but to tell you how we are going to support you achieve your individual goals and what we have in store, because you are alumni, because you're Centonomy privilege, because you are our community, yeah? Just for you. So, women, yeah? Well, I was experimenting, yeah, as we talked about with Waithaka, even when I was not CEO of Centonomy, I did so many conversations with you about money. I started Centonomy, as we've talked with Waithaka, I started Centonomy by running workshops for women. And we learned something, but along the way, 16 years and over the last 2 years, you may have been into some of our women and money events on Making Sense Conversations. You may have heard the series on women and money. I have been doing a lot of trainings and talks on women and money. And the fact is, women go through unique challenges and consequently opportunities with money, because we face unique barriers culturally, socially, relationally, that sometimes prohibit us, and sometimes it's our own belief systems. So we are creating a safe space, and we need, women, we need to hear our own language sometimes, where we can come and talk about that and unlock whatever is stopping you from creating wealth. So in 2026, please look out for that, so that we can have sessions for women and money and keep that conversation hot. Yeah. Entrepreneurs, there's a lot. Yeah. I am a living business story. Centonomy is a living business story. There's been so much I've learned in 16 years, and we want to bring those lessons more into the program in various ways, yeah? Whether it's with your team, whether it's the design of your business, whether it's marketing, whether it's understanding money better, but we want to meet your point of need so that you may actually grow about your business. Teenagers and people in university, look out for something for that. But Centonomy is here, and the ecosystem is all about where we do speak your language of money, yeah? And let us meet you at your point of need, whether you come for the classes, whether you interact with us physically, whether you interact with us online. But follow us, stay tuned to us, and I look forward to you becoming part of the Centonomy tribe. Thank you very much. Waceke Nduati, CEO of Centonomy and founder.